Hi, I'm Cabaret singer Katie McGrath. The other day, I had the chance for a conversation with MARILYN MAYE, probably the most awarded and beloved American cabaret singer, about her upcoming stand at the Iridium in celebration of Valentine's Day. Here's what she had to say about love and music.
I stopped to have a bite when I was through.
Today, I'm speaking with one of my favorite singers, MARILYN MAYE, who's going to be appearing at the Iridium on Valentine's Day for several days, right?
We do 14, 15, 16, and 17 of February.
So there are plenty of opportunities to see MARILYN.
No, not really. It's only 4 days.
That's true. So hurry.
Not plenty.
4.
Just
There
4
are only
days.
4.
Just
Well,
4 days.
there are 3 more than 1.
Yeah.
So tell us about the
goes
Valentine's Day show.
It's all well, we don't know what it is yet. It's going to be naturally lots of love songs, and all the different sides of love, I guess. All good songs. I believe in the Great American Songbook, and so there'll be all those gorgeous love songs. I think mostly.
If you had to pick one love song that really spoke for you,
No way.
no,
No way to do that.
no, wait, just one.
No, because they're all. It's all about every lyric that's been written, and there's good lyrics and better. So it's very hard to pick one particular because you have many stories in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't. There's not just one story to your life.
Are
As
there-
you move on from year to year, the story changes.
Absolutely. Do you start from scratch with every new show that you develop? Or do you start with some staples that you know people are going to want to hear?
You've got to do that. You have to do that. And many times we'll put together a whole new show and they'll say, but you didn't sing, but wait a minute, I thought you'd want to hear some new stuff. No, they still want to hear Guess Who I Saw Today.
Of course.
And 50%. And
Right.
all the time there's requests for that. And if you don't sing it, then they're disappointed.
I listened to that the other day. We put them together, the 50% and Guess Who I Saw
Well,
Today.
they're not really a medley, but it's one follows the other.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very touching. It's deeply sad.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. People love to cry.
But you go about it very matter-of-factly in your approach. When the one that I saw when you sang it, it was very almost setting up. The Guess Who I Said, talking about your day, how was your day, fix you a drink. It's very, very...
Well, she does that for a while.
She does.
She does that for a while. Murray Grant wrote that, and it's a great story, and I think a lot of people maybe lived through that kind of thing. And, in my master class the other day, somebody said, we love the fact that you let us feel our story when you're doing it. It's not about you. It's about us taking on those words. I always tell them, it's not about me. I'm not the star. The audience is the star. And I believe in that. You sing to them, not for them. And it's I had somebody recently singing, and they did this whole song, and you could tell that it was them living through these lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And finally then I said, well, that was wonderful, but now tell us the story, So it's important that I think the audience comes to cry and laugh and identify with the lyrics, and that's what we try to
Feel something.
do, yeah.
And to escape a little bit, too. Don't you think?
Sure.
To maybe go somewhere they haven't gone before with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But, if you're delivering it so that it all has meaning, it's all about the lyric and not about the wonderful notes that you can sing, or I think they realize that you're telling the story, and they get into the story.
I took a master class with you, and the song that I sang was "I Wish You Love," and you heard me sing it, and then you said, you can feel whatever you want to feel, but you may not take liberties with the melody. Just go ahead and sing with your heart, but don't you mess around with the genius of the song.
Well, on the first chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second chorus, be my guest.
Oh, is that good? Is that how it works? Too?
Well, I think you have to show them that you know the melody.
Right.
Wait a minute, I learned this right. But now improvisations, that's what jazz is about, you know, and that's what I do a lot of. I improvise a lot, but you like for them to know that you know how it was written, and then you know, I think then also the composers, many times the composer comes and they're happy that you've taken on the song and do what you want to do with it. Billy Goldenberg was in my audience a couple months ago, and he wrote 50%. He wrote all the music for Ballroom. Marilyn Allen Bergman wrote the lyrics, and Billy wrote the melodies, and he just loved what we did, and certainly there are liberties with the melody that I take, you know.
When you play the Iridium, do you ever think about the people who have played there before you?
No.
I imagine.
When I play, I'm so into the story and so into the lyric and so into the audience that I don't, my mind doesn't go to anything but what I'm doing.
And your national career really took off through Steve Allen.
He did, right. He heard us when we were at the Colony, and we did his national show. We did it many times, and the last show that I was on, before his last week, they were taking the show off the air, and but many times, I don't know how many times we did Steve. RCA saw me, and then that led to the RCA contract, and from the RCA contract was Johnny Carson, and then we started doing the Carson show.
And you recorded seven albums with RCA, is that correct?
Oh, we did.
And do you have a favorite among them?
No favorites. You know, it's like children. How many, do you have a favorite child?
I do.
Do you?
I have a favorite niece, but I'm not allowed to
Don't
talk
say
about
it
it.
to the other kids.
Yeah, well.
No, because they're all different. You know, everything is different, and every story is different. You know, so you kind of love. You know, you love that. If it tells a good story, and I don't sing it unless it does, I'm not interested in repetitive words.
When you are approaching something like Valentine's Day, do you take a broad spectrum of different types of love songs, story songs, happy, sad? How do you manage that?
All sides of love. You know, everybody's got a story of their own, and you want them to find it. And if it's all happy love, then I'm sure a lot of people haven't had all happy love,
Right.
and it isn't all downers either. So,
Well, anybody who has is probably 13. Don't you think?
but it's fun because there's enough songs that you can go a lot of directions.
Yeah. And are you a dancer too? Because you move like a dancer.
Well, one of my husbands and I had a dance studio for 9 years,
Oh, nice.
and I studied dancing. You know, I took a lot of dance lessons and love just moving to the rhythm. You know, that's important that you do move.
Well, I have often thought of you as the Tina Turner of Cabaret because of your great legs and your energy and
she's energy. She's high energy.
she's very high energy. And she just stopped singing a few years ago.
I never understand that. I don't know how they can stop singing.
Unless she had to. I
guess they just have so much money they can.
I think that's part of it.
Has to do with money, with bread.
She's on my list of most admired, along with you. And there are, I think...
We couldn't be different.
No, you are different, but remarkably similar.
She has energy.
She does. She does. And
great
and a broad spectrum of music, too.
And I followed her into a club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I remember meeting her a long time ago.
I saw her once without her wig on.
Oh wow! I didn't know her that well.
I did. I was a waitress at a hotel, and I was bringing up a tray of stuff, and Ike was there, and she was there in front of a mirror, taking care of stuff, and short hair.
And she looked great anyway, huh?
She looked. It was jarring because I was a fan, and I had steeled myself for being very professional, and of course I was completely taken aback by this very, very short-haired woman, but she was darling. Very nice. Good tipper.
No good.
Yeah. So you are on the road quite a bit.
Lot, yeah. We do. Well, now we're headed for Kansas City at the end of this month, and then we go to Key West. No, I come back here, and then come back here for. I have 2 days of teaching, and then directly to Key West, and then from Key West right back here to the Iridium. In March, we start. We do a concert, a 17-piece band concert. We did it at the Appel Room at Jazz at Lincoln Center last year, and just did it at Kravis Performing Arts Center in Florida in January 4th. And now we take that concert and go to St. Louis for a club for 2 days. Then we go directly to San Francisco to the Nico, which is Feinstein's there. And we'll be and we close one night and open the next night, and it's going to be a challenge with flying and rehearsing and opening. And we usually don't do that to ourselves. And then directly from San Francisco to Palm Springs, we were just there in November at a wonderful club there, and the Purple Room, and we'll be there again in March. And then there's something right after that too. Can't remember what there is.
How far out are you booked?
Through next September, and then sporadically, there's a gig in December, but
and then you fill in with places.
It fills in, yeah. It's scary at my point in time in life to book that far ahead, but it's fun.
It's
fun
for any of us, So speaking of that, there are more people of your generation actively working now than ever before. Tony Bennett.
Yeah, I don't think more. I don't think more.
Well, that's what a study that I said when I was prepared to speak with you said.
But a lot of people are gone. It's too bad. Ella died too early, and Mel Torme certainly died too early, and Joe Stafford died too early. It's wonderful that we've lived so long, but I think there's a very small group of us that have lived so long.
But across the spectrum, of course, Tony Bennett is iconic in his longevity too, and actors, Sean Connery, Betty White, Angela Lansbury,
yes,
and who's the Downton Abbey?
I don't know. You'll fill in that.
Yes, I will. Yeah, but anyway, do you think?
But Angela, I sang for Angela's 90th birthday 2 years ago. She's been in my audience, and I love having her there. She she's so complimentary, so wonderful, and so they invited me to sing for her 90th birthday. And at that time, I wasn't 90 yet, and I said it was so nice, and they wanted me to sing "If You Walked Into My Life," which I'd done the part of Maine too, and so I know I walked on and said, "I'm so glad that I'm not the oldest one in the room now." She was 90 for her birthday. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady and great performer.
One of the reviews I saw about you recently was about how you could just raise an eyebrow and get a laugh.
It's called timing, I think. I worked a lot with comedians, and I worked a lot with Alan King and Buddy Hackett and many, many, many engagements with Shecky Green. And I loved Shecky, and sat in his audience, if I would do my show. He would come out and work 20 minutes and then introduce me, and then I would do, 25 minutes, and then he'd come back on. And so now when I hold for a laugh, I always wonder, wait a minute, how do I do that? And I told Shecky recently, I said, I watched you so much that I learned some timing from you,
Oh, I'm sure. Are there any composers, any contemporary composers that you think
and we can't even get into that.
Their music stacks up with anybody from the Great American Songbook?
Don't even go there.
But you sing James Taylor.
I do, for the song.
Right.
Well, and I love him. Yeah, I love James Taylor, but I don't consider him new,
Oh, see, I do.
Yeah.
Well, just because he's currently writing.
Well, but he's been writing for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, I love him.
I think it's the Great American Songbook is tailing as being mostly the body of work from the 30s through
Well, I
The
think,
late 50s, would you say?
I think Taylor is probably in that category. I don't know. We'd have to. I was so thrilled that there's a new organization here in New York called the American Songbook Association, and their first Lifetime Achievement Award was presented to me via Bob Mackey.
Wow.
And Bob Mackey is my darling friend and so wonderful, and they would be the ones to ask how far do they go, how late do they go?
Considered.
Yeah, to be considered.
Have you ever worn a Bob Mackey dress?
Many times. Most of my stuff is.
I can't imagine how fun that was. Well, that was another question. You always look so fabulous.
And not a dress.
And
He does tops and he does
Right.
he does all kinds of stuff. He's fabulous. He's got the new Cher show, and he did over 400 costumes for that show. He's been working like crazy and is a beautiful person and loves what we do. He's not just a designer. I just paid tribute to Mario Buono, who's another designer architecturally and interior design. And it seems that those people, are so artistic and they love the music too.
And you just sang at his memorial service, correct?
And Mario Buono's, yeah, which is wonderful. And he was fun, and there was 400 people there that loved and adored him, and I'm sure the world did. He was a prankster and great fun, so it's lovely.
The world loves a funny person. Do you have? I want to ask you if you have any advice for lovers on Valentine's Day.
To come to the Iridium and hold each other and enjoy the music because it'll be fun. Of course, it's always a party. It'll be a party whenever I work. It's a party,
That's right.
And so it'll be fun. Yeah.
So, what is a typical non-performing day for Marilyn Maye?
I don't know. There isn't any. I do go hear other people. I'm so thrilled that I can be in New York for a while and really go hear wonderful other performers. There's so much to do.
Indeed. Yeah.
It's not just sing a song.
I'm sure you've been asked this question about if you had the chance to have dinner with 5 people, living or dead.
Oh gosh.
Who might that be?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that overnight.
All right, well, I'll get back to you with that.
Yeah, overnight.
I just wonder if it would be music people or philosophers
probably
or
not.
authors or
Probably fun people. Probably
comedians.
Fun. Probably fun. I'm sure there would be 2 or 3. Shecky, I would.
Yeah. And
I still talk to him. It's so much fun. I told him recently. I said there was a night when my voice was. I really was sick and my voice was. So I just told him, and I'm so against a lot of patter in the act. I don't believe in talking. I believe in singing a lot of songs. But in this case, I started telling a lot of stories because my voice wasn't there. And so when I talked to him a few days later, I said, I'd been a stand-up. I said I absolutely did. He said, "Oh, I'll write some material for you." So he thought I was going to start out doing a stand-up. So he's so wonderful.
Now that would be pretty nice if Shaggy Green were doing your material.
Oh God, he came to Vegas to see me. Always has. He's a doll. He's 92.
Is he in LA?
He's in Vegas. He's in Las Vegas. Yeah.
That's great. Do you ever travel to Europe to sing?
No, London. We've done London several times, but not anywhere else. Would be fun. It's a good idea.
All right, well, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
I'll do your advance work for you.
You can book it.
For Paris, that would be fun. They love you there.
I don't know.
Oh, I think so.
I don't know. I've never tried that. It remained as be seen.
And it's a new year, and these days things are changing. We need to feel loved, and we need to be a reason to smile.
That's the reason to come to the Iridium.
I think it is.
Right.
Yeah. And I've always thought Valentine's Day was kind of like New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Where people have great expectations for something fabulous happening.
Well, they plan something for people they really care about, and that's nice.
Or
New Year's Eve is a party for yourself. Valentine's Day is a party for somebody else that you love.
That distinction.
That's great. Yeah. Maybe so.
And I think also for folks who just want to think about the greater idea of love, you go with your sister or something.
Well, that's exactly. There's all sides. Yeah, that's why it's so wonderful to work with that particular time. Although, all year long, you can come up with those same songs, and they work.
Do you think in the body of work that is the Great American Songbook, are there more happy love songs or sad love songs?
Well, both. You know, there's so many heart-wrenching songs. You know, and then lots of real deep love. You know, and Cole Porter wrote both, and Johnny Mercer just both things. Mercer. I think Mercer wrote maybe more happy songs than sad. I love Johnny Mercer. He's my favorite. He sang, too. And I think he really understood the singer and put the right note with the right word.
Are you a night owl?
When there's something to do. Yeah, but even so, yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't go to sleep early. And your lifestyle is so different because there are days that you're up till 2 o'clock in the morning because you're working, and then the days you're not working, you're through by 9 or 10, or you go see somebody, and they're working late.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to go see the party.
You're going to party? Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, thank you, and I can't wait to see you with your video.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great night.
I love being there. Ellen is going to sing. The Ellen of Ellen's Diner.
Right upstairs.
Yes, and she owns the Iridium too, and she's a doll. She's studies with me, and so she'll sing a song.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Do you feel because your national business really took off when you were in your 30s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like you were fortunate in that regard, that you were already
very fortunate? We did the Carson Show 76 times.
More than any other
More
guest.
than any other singer. No,
more than any singing guest. Yeah.
And then we did Mike Douglas. I don't know. We didn't keep track. I'm sure it was much or more. And Merv Griffin. We did Merv Griffin. I did Ed Sullivan 3 times.
Ah!
So all those shows, we don't have those anymore.
No.
And that's a terrible loss to our musical world because all of the people that are sitting at home aren't exposed to all the good music.
Did you see Carol Burnett's speech at the Golden Globes? She talked about that. She talked about back then she was so grateful to have had the budget and the support of the network to actually produce that kind of variety show, that it just doesn't exist.
Well, and I'm not just talking about a variety show because that's more was comedy, but I'm talking about the singers and the big bands and Carson had the big band and Mike Douglas had I think 7 pieces and Ed Sullivan. I did Ed Sullivan. One of the shows was done with the Buddy Rich band, and all those great things we just don't have anymore. And it's harder for kids to get seen and known and the experience. It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, it gets hard, but it's worth it because if you have the passion. And if you were given the talent, you need to use it. And so the talent and the passion and the exposure of just getting out and singing in a nightclub, I just think that they need to do that. And they need to use what they've been given.
It's a gift to the world that you do what you do.
Thank you.
Because everybody benefits.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I had a good time.
I'll see you on Valentine's Day.
That'll be fun. Cheers.
Thanks for watching. I'm Katie McGrath, and I can see you again.
I always say that people are the happiest, I think, when they're sitting and dreaming and crying. That's when they have the most fun. So they always request sad songs. And this is the one Murray Graham wrote this. He said, "You're so late getting home from the office. Did you miss your train? Were you caught in the rain? No, don't bother to explain. Can I fix you a quick martini? As a matter of fact, I'll have one with you. For to tell you the truth, I've had quite a day too."
saw today, my dear. I went in town to shop around for something new and thought I'd stop to have a bite when I was through. I looked around for some place new. Then it occurred to me where I had parked the car. There was the most attractive French cafe and bar. It really wasn't very far. The waiter showed me to a dark, secluded corner. And as my eyes became accustomed to the gloom, I saw two people at the bar who were so much in love. Even I could spot it clear across the room. Guess who I saw today, my dear? I've never been so shocked before. I headed blindly to the door. They didn't see me passing through. Guess who I saw today? Guess who I saw today? Guess who I saw